Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing awesome. Hope you're doing fantastic. Dean Kulaweera here. So, on today's live stream, and I go live every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. Today, I have a very special segment. This one's for all you cybersecurity professionals out there, or those of you with an interest in cybersecurity. You want to get in the field. Maybe you're a new graduate. Maybe you're already in the field and you want to know how to expand your career. Maybe you're in some other field or some other industry right now and you want to make the transition into cybersecurity. Anyway, if you have an interest in cybersecurity, today's session is definitely for you. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit me up with a like and a share as well, folks, for anyone in your network that might be interested in today's session. I have a very special guest today. I have my friend Ali Khan joining me, also known as the Cyber Ali. He's an author and cybersecurity professional. And we're going to be talking, or not we, but he's going to be talking and sharing tips, advice, and strategies on how you can thrive in this very exciting field, right? So I'm going to bring Ali on shortly, but don't be shy. Introduce yourself in the comments, folks, and let us know who you are. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, what your background is, what field you're in, and let us know your interest in cybersecurity and what questions you have, what issues you might be going through right now, and let us know, folks, in the comments. We definitely want to hear about that, and don't be shy again. We got Gurpreet in the house. Gurpreet says, hi, Dean. Good morning. Hey, Gurpreet, good to see you here. Thanks so much for tuning in. So keep the comments coming, folks. All right, so I'm going to give an introduction for my fantastic guest today, my friend Ali. So just a little bit of background real quick. Ali and I actually went to school together. So we went to university together. And especially, I think I met Ali in my fourth year, right? We were both doing an honors degree in information technology. It was the fourth year classes, and I personally know Ali. He's a really great guy, really cool, and just really fun to be around as well. And I'm just really excited, and really great to see Ali doing so well for him. And I'm really excited that he just released his new book. So just a bit of background, folks, regarding Ali, who's today's guest. So Ali, having been brought up in over 3 continents as part of his childhood, Ali, who has a CCISO, CISM, CISSP, CDPSC, CISA, also known as hashtag the Cyber Ali, is an executive cybersecurity professional, father, author, thought leader, mentor, angel investor, and a humanitarian. Ali serves the cybersecurity industry globally with his innovative approach to executing and delivering on cybersecurity initiatives. As a mentor and educator, Ali continues to work closely with educational institutions to develop the next generation of cybersecurity professionals, and also provides mentorship, guidance, and career coaching to upcoming and aspiring cyber professionals and startups. Ali also volunteers his time and efforts at not-for-profit organizations, providing his subject matter expertise. Ali has an executive management certificate in leading organizations in disruptive times from INSEAD School of Business. Hope I pronounced that correctly, in France. An honors Bachelor of Arts majoring in Information Technology Management stream from York University, Canada, and is a certified Chief Information Security Officer, CCSO, Certified Information Security Manager, Certified Information System Security Professional, Certified Data Privacy Solutions Engineer, and Certified Information Systems Auditor. Ali has a NATO and Level 2 secret clearance from the Government of Canada. So, folks, in the comments, I want you to give a very warm welcome to my special guest today, Ali, and we're going to get him on right now. Hey, Ali, how's it going, my friend? How are you doing?
Hey, Dean, doing well. Good to see you.
Awesome, fantastic. So, folks, make sure you give Ali a warm welcome in the comments. Don't be shy. So, Ali, I know it's been a while since, last time I think we met in person was back when both of us were in school, right? Over 10 years ago, not to age ourselves, but I think around then, right?
Yeah. Once a Yorker, I guess always a Yorker, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
great.
I think that goes back. Wow, it's about 11 years, I think now, and it's been a while, but it's good to it's good to always stay connected and see you around. And I'm glad to see how far you've come along as well, and really great to get in touch.
Absolutely, my friend. And so glad to see you, see how far you've come as well. And congrats on your new book. Thank you so much for mailing a copy out to me. And look, folks, by the way, for those of you who want, now Ali is very kind enough to actually, he wants to give away 2 free copies of his books to 2 lucky winners on today's stream. But you have to stay for the entire stream, and Ali is going to personally handpick two of the best comments, which could be comments or maybe they're questions. They have to be cybersecurity related. So don't be shy, folks. Right. So Ali is going to be personally keeping his eye on the comments. And for those of you who are asking great questions about cybersecurity or building a career in cybersecurity or just comments that you want to share about the field, Ali will be personally picking out two winners. All right, so that's how you want to participate in the contest, and you can win a free copy of Ali's new book. So thanks so much, Ali, for doing that. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
Awesome. So Ali, just kind of getting right into it, right? So can you please tell us about yourself? I know I gave a bit of an introduction, but can you tell us about yourself and how did you get into cybersecurity?
Yeah, no, sure, Dean. I mean, I think just to kind of start off with, so we kind of graduated together at school, and we completed our program. After that, I think it was just interesting the way that obviously my kind of co-ops turned out, and the way that I kind of shifted into the field overall. I started off by doing obviously some risk management sort of activities. I joined a professional services firm. This goes back in 2010, about 11 years back, and started off with that. And then it wasn't until roughly speaking, just by the first quarter of 2011, when I had my first core cybersecurity engagement through my professional services sort of engagement back then, when I actually started to work deep into the field and start to take a look at it and start to explore it more further. And I it just attracted me so nicely, and I really got really got into it, and started to kind of learn more. And it's interesting because as I went more deeper into it, I started to learn that I hadn't even scratched the surface, and there was just so much to learn, and to figure out, and so forth overall. And that's what started it. It was really completing those risk management courses at school. I believe we had that optional course. I still remember back at York, when we completed that, and then
Yeah,
transitioning that into my co-ops and internships that I completed as part of that, and then getting into the actual my first full-time position back in 2010, and then kicking it
right.
off. And that's how it really started. And then once I got into it, it really it really took me by excitement, and I just couldn't stop learning more and more. And then I started to carry on with obviously the field. It's a massive field. I mean, as we'll talk about it today as well, there's so much, there's so many domains to it, there's so much there's so many certifications to it as well. And it's a complete field by itself. And just as exciting as it gets, there's so much to it, and I'm sure we'll get to it as we go along. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And there's no looking back. It's just going great. And obviously it's a very high demand, high potential field.
Amazing, amazing, fantastic. So Ali, out of curiosity, like what do you personally like about cybersecurity? Like what is it that really drew you in at the early stages, and I mean even right now, like what keeps you there?
um I guess excitement is the biggest thing that I would add to it, or mention about. And it's not just excitement about the fact that you're going to work and you're just trying to complete on with your activities. It's more about excitement about what's potentially next. I mean, this field has folks like us that are working on what I'd like to call the good side, right? But there's probably an equivalent amount of people that are actually also working on the bad side. and
Yeah.
um, and what comes from there is what excites the good guys, is what I would say, right?
Mm.
The kind of attacks that we see are happening globally. The kind of things that we see in the news around what that side is doing, and how they're kind of doing it, is really what keeps us motivated to keep doing more. And it's kind of like that equal force, right? So you have all these, you have somebody pulling the rope on this side, and then you're trying to pull the rope on this side as well, and you're just trying to stay, trying to maintain that security posture for your organization and clients. It's just that excitement that's part of that really keeps you into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we just got a few shout outs here. I'm just gonna put on the screen. We got Somaya in the house who says hi, Ali and Dean. Thanks for your time. Good to have you here, Somaya. Thanks for tuning in. We got Mariam Khan in the house. Mariam says hi, Ali and Dean. Super excited for the session today. Awesome. We got Yunus. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly, my friend. Yunus says because you can. Hashtag the Cyber Ali. And Yunus also says it's great pleasure to join this session. Awesome, awesome. And then So kind of moving along, Ali, and what are some of the different areas within cybersecurity? And the second part of my question is, what is your focus personally?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, thanks for those shout outs. I think really appreciate it. I think it would be kind of nice to also see where people are joining from. So if it's maybe
Yeah, yeah,
even possible if people just share maybe a country or city, whatever they're comfortable with, I think it'll be nice to see that. So kind of see some some geographical kind of inputs.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, Dean, cybersecurity by itself is a it's a complete field. I mean, it has elements of technical areas, it has elements of management and leadership areas, it has elements of project management, of analytics, and so on and so forth overall. So there's a really misnomer in the field where people actually believe that it's just a technical field and you really need to be a techie to be a good cybersecurity professional. That's actually not that's actually not true. This field, we need people from all areas, right? We need very good marketing. We need very good people from marketing who can help the vendors in cybersecurity, that can help consulting organizations in cybersecurity. As this field, we need very good analytics and very good analytical individuals that can help with applying some of that knowledge to start to build patterns, to start to build identify anomalies and so on and so forth as part of specific areas. We need technical people definitely to start to deal with incidents, to start to deal with some of the more technical areas around cybersecurity. We also need leadership, so we need a lot of people in management that can actually manage major programs in cybersecurity, that can help function as CISOs in organizations and so forth overall. um, so it's basically a complete field. And one of the things that I have kind of learned as progress into the career and so forth overall is that you need people from all areas and all so forth. I mean, again, it's about having the right mix of individuals and the right mix of people within an organization in cyber that would help provide that true complete kind of capability within organizations. um, Now, one of the things that we'll see a lot as well is that there's many organizations that cannot actually fulfill some of these capabilities because
Mhm.
they're either they might be too small and they just want to focus on their business, which is just fine, and they just want to get along with with their business and kind of complete their activities. So they most likely outsource some of these activities to some service providers and so consulting and professional service organizations as well, and so forth overall. So there's that element of kind of sales as well that you need as well for individuals that want to work in those fields. So it's a complete field, just like just like any other, and there's individuals from all types of professional backgrounds that are required in it. Absolutely.
Okay, amazing point. Yeah. So, I mean, from what you're saying, Ali, it's not just, and I think, in general, when a lot of us think about cybersecurity, we're thinking about, the hacker who's, in the dark coding some stuff or hacking, and, or maybe, defending the companies and stuff like that from that technical standpoint. But clearly, obviously, from what you're saying, this is, I mean, it's way broader than just that. Like, there's technical people, there's non-technical people. So I think this gives a lot of options for people out there, right? Because not everyone wants to be hands-on technical, and not everyone wants to be on the non-technical side of things as well. So you personally, Ali, like which part? Like, how do you feel? Like, what areas are you in personally?
Yeah, absolutely. So my area of expertise is around security operation centers and in building and standing up high-end managed threat detection and response services. Now, let me try to just explain that in a bit more of
Yeah, sure.
of a simple view. Is there's a major area around cyber where you're monitoring and actively looking at suspicious activities that are occurring within your environment and perhaps around your environment externally as well. um, Usually, these are operations rooms that are sort of set up within organizations or either outsourced to service providers, where you have a number of different technologies that you're actually looking at and are able to actually be able to detect certain suspicious activities and certain suspicious threats overall. Um, so my area of expertise is all around building and standing up the security operation centers for clients,
Okay.
and basically helping them enable security situational awareness and be able to deal with suspicious events, and actually true events in the event that they occur, and so forth overall. So it's specifically, if we were to kind of break down cybersecurity into the areas around sort of management, administrative, and leadership, and sort of the technical core. My sort of expertise would fall into the kind of technical core, sort of security operations center side, and so forth overall. And that's what I've been doing as a consultant, since school, since I graduated. Had the opportunity to work with over 25 plus different clients now in different markets, including Canada, US, Europe, Middle East, and so forth overall.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So we got some more shout outs here. So we got Mariam says, hi, Dean and Ali. Super excited for the session. Looking forward to learning about cybersecurity. Hashtag Cyber Ali. Good to have you here, Mariam. We got Rushita, who's from Toronto. Awesome. Mariam was also from Toronto. Looks like a lot of Toronto peeps. So we got the UK in the house. We got my friend Damendra all the way from the UK. We got Eunice from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow, that's awesome. And we got Abhi from Calgary, Alberta. Good to have you, Abhi. And Kumar says, tuning in from Toronto, great session so far. Awesome, awesome. So, folks, by the way, for those of you who just tuned in, just to give you a heads up, Ali will be personally selecting two of the best comments from the comments to give away two free copies of his book. All right. So, but it can't be a random comment. Like it has to be a well thought out, good question related to cybersecurity or building a career in cybersecurity, or a comment. And Ali will be selecting two winners to give away free copies of his book. All right. So keep those comments coming, folks. All right. So Ali, getting into the next thing now, obviously, as a result of COVID-19, and I don't know if this is because of COVID-19 or not, but either directly or indirectly, Ali, like, has this increased the demand for cybersecurity professionals, or is it just that it's more visible? Like, because I'm always hearing about companies having these security issues, right? So is this something? Is this is there a visible increase, or is it just that I'm just noticing these things right now, or has this always been the case?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think COVID has certainly increased demand, and it's particularly because most of the professional working environment has adopted working remotely.
Yeah.
Which an increase basically means some additional protection that needs to be put in place to be able to protect the company and to protect the employees of the company that are basically working through them.
Right.
There's still globally, obviously, many companies that cannot adopt a remote workforce model. So in that case, people are not just using computers, but they're also logging in through cell phones and all those kinds of other mobile and bring your own device sort of activities. So there's obviously been an uptick in that, and there's a lot of demand from there. However, also speaking from a field perspective, the shortage in cybersecurity, it's just a global sort of view that we're just experiencing overall. I mean, right now, there are different reports from different sort of kind of views, but one of the more kind of common ones from IC Squared, which is one of the professional certification bodies in the in the industry, they are estimating a shortage of around 4 million people in the field when you look at demand versus supply, and that includes some numbers from the pandemic, but it also includes numbers from before. Based on just demand and supply, and also from emerging tech, right? So
Right.
there's also a lot of emerging tech these days when we talk about IoT devices or IOB, Internet of Bodies, wearable technology. You're talking about 3D printing, autonomous vehicles,
Yeah.
the whole shift to the cloud. The whole field, cyber, is just expanding from that perspective.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, there is a global shortage by at least 4 million.
Wow. 4 million, a global shortage. Wow.
If we are to look at demand and supply. So and IC score actually, if you take a look at that, it actually breaks it down by region. So there's about 500,000 in North America. The
Yeah.
biggest shortage is in the Pacific region, in the sort of in the if you kind of take if you cut Asia into half and you kind of take a look at the China-Iran border more towards the east, that's where the biggest shortage is. Africa is an emerging economy. There's major shortages in Africa right now for cybersecurity professionals. Latin America, huge market, emerging economies. When you have, for example, you talk about Brazil, an emerging economy coming up globally, and sort of speaking. But yeah, majorly overall speaking, at least 4 million. I mean, that's the projection. So, that's why this field is really hot, and that's why, and it's not going anywhere.
Wow. So why the shortage, Ali? Like, I mean, clearly this is a very high potential field. I mean, it's not going away anywhere anytime soon or anything. Why the shortage? Are people not aware of this space? Is there not enough investment into these kind of courses, or like what is creating this shortage?
Um, there's multiple factors that contribute to shortage. I mean, obviously, we as in our era, we're adopting digital technology at a speed which is something that we have never seen historically before. I mean, if we just look at the last 20 years, just 20 years, we've gone from VCRs to CDs to DVDs to
Yeah,
USBs to cloud. All that other thing has just disappeared.
yeah,
And the way at which we're adopting technology, it's exponential. Now the thing is, it's not just us that's adopting it. We are the people that sit on the good side of the fence that adopt this
mm,
technology. But there are other individuals that are sitting on the other side, and they're also adopting the technology, and they're also adopting the same technology that we're adopting. So basically, we get better, they get better.
yeah,
Then we kind of catch up, then they catch up. It's like that race, right? Where there's a lot out there, and so forth. The other thing is, you know that whole idea around being able to cause damage physically, is now being translated into electronic, right? And I mean,
mm,
most of our data, it sits electronically, whether that includes personal information about ourselves, where we live, um, who we are as an individual, from a financial perspective, where we bank, who we are. It's much easier to capture that information digitally than physically now.
yeah,
And if you can get into an enterprise organization and get access to 500,000 employee records and be able to look at that information, I mean, there's a lot that you could do with it, and so forth overall. So so with the adoption of digitalization, being able to get more digital, organizations being able to get more advanced, there's obviously that side that people need to catch up on, and that's where cybersecurity kicks in. And you obviously need to protect the organization and protect the risks that the organization is susceptible to as part of this.
100%, 100%. So, folks, I don't know about you, but this is some great information. Make sure you hit us up with a like and a share. Always appreciate those. Now, we had a great question, Ali. I just wanted to wonder if you can answer this question. So, shout out to Rushita for asking this question. So, Rushita said, what area of cybersecurity do you suggest for someone from financial services background but with not much technical knowledge? Any thoughts on that, Ali?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Rashita. And as part of my involvement at York University currently, where I'm teaching cybersecurity, I come across a lot of students that are actually masters in financial and in accounting and so forth, and they're looking for obviously career changes and so forth overall. There's a lot of areas in cybersecurity where financial services individuals can play a huge part. First of all, when you start to build cybersecurity programs for organizations, you start looking at your ROI and your cost benefit analysis, or your CBA analysis. Um, this is an area where technical individuals would not be able to obviously provide that level of depth that an individual that has a very strong financial services background can, right? So looking at, for example, building out entire programs for cybersecurity, looking at investments from a product, employee, service, location, and then started looking at the ROIs of that from a protection perspective. I mean, how do you put a benefit cost against something that is intangible, right? Like, how do you justify spending $500,000 on cybersecurity every year against, let's say, a $800,000 reward or a protection, and so forth, and things of that nature? So there's obviously a lot of risk analysis that needs to be done, and usually individuals that have that financial background can be really good risk analysts.
Right.
So being able to look into fields like risk analysis is something that a financial services professional can potentially branch into and start to get into. Resources that have a strong financial background also tend to be good at audit because they're good with numbers, so they can actually see how how balance sheets and so forth are coming. That same knowledge can then be applied into IT audit and security audit and so forth overall, and could be transitioned. So starting to take a look at into fields such as IT security auditors, or individuals that are providing certain compliance sort of assurance services is another area. And then lastly, management. I mean, financial individuals with financial backgrounds are usually also in management positions. They're providing management expertise. They're providing a number of different sets of services around overall leadership and management, and that's obviously an area in cyber when you start to take a look at some of the more senior positions like the CXOs or the CISOs and so forth. An individual with a strong financial background and perhaps a strong leadership and management background would do very well as a CISO as well.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. So, Rushid, I hope that helps. Let us know in the comments. Great question there. So, Ali, moving on with the so since we were talking, I mean, I think Rushita's question was a great transition here. But what's your advice overall to IT professionals who would like to transition into cybersecurity from other areas within tech? Like, I'm talking maybe, hey, maybe there's a, I don't know, a developer out there, maybe there's a systems administrator out there, and they're wondering, okay, cybersecurity seems like a great field. I'm not specialized in this area. How can they best navigate and get into this field? Like, if this is what they want to do, like 100%, like, what's your advice?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So with IT, what I would suggest is obviously, individuals that are specifically coming from IT, they have a base knowledge around some of the core areas around cyber. That would include, for example, identity, operations, especially if they're coming from a IT operations view and so forth overall. If they're coming from IT governance, they would understand governance, risk, and compliance. So my advice to these individuals is obviously to start to figure out your niche in cyber, where you believe you want to focus on, when you think you can stay happy and
Mhm.
stay motivated, obviously because of your background. Like if you've spent 10 years or 15 years in IT, and you've been focused around operations, you're more likely to succeed and perhaps do better in security operations, just because your expertise on operations will apply directly into that field, into that area. So starting to understand that niche and then starting to kind of focus around that is core. And once you perhaps get your first your first opportunity to work in that area, then you start to basically focus on certifications. I see many individuals, they start to do certifications like right away, and they want, they're trying to get the CYSA plus, they're trying to
Yeah.
do the all those certifications. That's very good. However, you do want to make sure that your certifications actually match to the kind of work that you want to do and you want to be doing. Like you don't want to be you don't want to be a manager, as an example, or a CISO in cybersecurity, having a certification, for example, in A plus, which is a little bit different, right? So you want to start off with something that you like. You want to make sure you can get it, and if you already have that experience in operations, organizations will be able to relate to that and will be able to take you in, and then you grow in that field, and you run through your certification programs. You start to grow in the field. Obviously, promotions are quite fast in cybersecurity generally compared to other IT functions as well. I mean, that's a fact. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best way for IT individuals to be able to transition.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. So we got a shout out here from Pushkara, who's tuning in all the way from Dubai. That's awesome, fantastic. Then we got a comment here. Unfortunately, don't see the name, but apparently it looks like it's one of your students, Ali, who
Thank you.
says
Yeah.
congrats on the books. Your student at York. Awesome. So keep the comments coming, folks. Now, for cybersecurity professionals currently in the field, Ali, like what trends do you see, and how can they adapt or take advantage of these to advance their careers? Like, what tips do you have for people already in the field?
Yeah. So, so most of the time we talk a lot about technical aptitude and sort of areas in cyber where you want to grow. And there's this notion around being the best at what you do. One of the things that I believe is also equally important is being the best in terms of who you know, right? So, what you know is something that you keep with you and you kind of grow into it while you work. But who you know is actually probably equally more important, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And when you start to take a look at who you know, it's all about building your network. It's all about kind of expanding your different network zones. So when we start to take a look at sort of professional networking concepts, there's this concept of a red network and a blue network, right? And blue networks are people that that are similar to you in certain areas. They're ethnically similar, religiously similar, geographically similar, whatever the case is.
yeah.
And you tend to kind of gel well with them, and you kind of, and that's where you usually have your biggest network, right? Your blue network. The red network is the individuals that are different than you in certain capacities, uh, who themselves then have their own blue networks, right? So so
Okay.
so 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 when people start networking, they tend to focus on that blue network, right? The people
Yeah.
that they gel with, the people that they can recognize well, and all that stuff. And my advice to them, to kind of, if you want to grow in this field, and if you want to grow even generally in any field, is you want to reach out to that red network, right? And you want to, and you want to expand your red network. People who may be different from than you in different capacities. They might be senior than you, they might be a couple of years more senior than you, or they might be junior than you. But the fact is that they have their own those individuals have their own blue networks. So as soon as you connect into that red network, you get access to their entire blue network, right? and
Ah,
and and that expansion of networking is key, because if you can become the best at what you know, and you could become the best at who you know, then that combination is literally unbeatable in the market. and and
oh, I
and
love that. I love that.
and basically that's what will contribute to your growth. That's what will kind of get you to that that next level and that subsequent level. Is yeah. So networking, in addition to kind of focusing on your core technical skills, is key.
I love that. I love how you said that. Focus. If you can be the best at what you know and the best at who you know, I love that because it's so important, right? And I love this concept of blue network and red network because I think most of us, we want to stay within our comfort zone a lot of times, and we just stick to people we know, people similar to us. So I think that's a huge asset if you can actually go out to your red network, so to speak, and then mesh with those people, and then you get access to their blue networks as well potentially. So I think that's a fantastic concept. So we got a question here from my friend Kieran. So Kieran, shout out to Kieran, good to have you here, my friend. Kieran says, hi, can you please share some ideas on building a career in cybersecurity? Are there any courses on cybersecurity that would give a better opportunity in this field? I know you kind of covered this, Ali, but anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one. Look, knowledge, there's a lot out there. When I was doing when I was kind of growing into the field, it's overwhelming, the amount of knowledge that's there. My view on this is that, take a step back, understand the entire field, and understand what is in the field, right? So, I talk about governance, I talk about technical, I talk about management, talk about compliance, audit, and then all the supporting functions around it. um, Start to identify the area that you believe you want to build your career in cybersecurity in. You cannot be the best at everything. You do need to pick a niche. You need to pick something that you really want to focus on. Once you identify what that is, then you can start to take a look at some programs and certain areas that would help you. Now, I'm not sure, Kieran, where you're logging in from. I mean, if you're in Canada, there's so many programs out there.
Yeah,
um,
he's in Toronto.
Oh, in Toronto, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, in Canada, in Toronto specifically, there is a number of programs that are being offered from higher institutions such as universities and colleges. You can obviously check those as well. There are also certification bodies that offer programs. So there is, for example, IC Square. I keep talking about IC Square because they have this certification called the CSSP, which is literally the gold standard when it comes to cybersecurity and being recognized as a true professional. But IC Square has certification programs, training programs. There's another organization such as such as ISACA. ISACA is another independent organization that governs cybersecurity certifications and related certifications in audit and so forth. And ISACA has their own training programs, and so on and so forth. There's a lot out there. So start focused, get a general understanding. There's a lot of content out there that will help you understand what the field is all about. I'm sure if you I'm sure if you just search on Google on something like high level areas around cybersecurity, you'll find a lot in there. Try to identify the one that you really resonate with, and you want to build, and you're passionate towards building a career into it. And then look for the programs that will allow you to get into it, right? And at the
Right.
same time, as you're looking at programs, start with the networking area as well, and start building your network.
Great advice there, Ali. Thanks for that. Kieran, hope that helps. Let us know in the comments. We got a comment here from Sumaya. So Sumaya says, instead of choosing, please choose two of us who are going to read the entire book. Can ask to have it. It's just my opinion if you like. Yeah, I mean, good point. I mean, look, Sumaya, Ali definitely told me he wants to give away the books to people he knows that are gonna, really appreciate it and read the books. So Sumaya, let Ali know in the comments why you want to read the entire book, and hey, maybe he might pick you, right? I can't make any guarantees, but absolutely, Sumaya, let us know in the comments why this book would be something very beneficial to you, and definitely Ali will consider that. All right, but thanks for your comment, my friend. Then we got a question here from Abi. So Abi, shout out to Abi. Good to have you here, Abi. So Abi says, "How do I function as a traditional project manager in cybersecurity in cyberspace?"
Yeah, great. um there's uh the way that the field is, Abby, basically you have operations, which is your day-to-day activities and so on and so forth. However, organizations have this massive area where they're obviously implementing new initiatives around cybersecurity. As soon as there's a new adoption of technology in an organization, they're probably going to have a stream around cyber in it, or a separate function around being able to address it through cyber. So uh, in enterprise organizations, there will almost always be a project management office or a PMO office that will have cybersecurity governance, and the requirement to provide a strong project manager in cybersecurity in that field overall. If you're intending to stay in as project manager but focusing on cybersecurity projects, I think that will be a very seamless transition for you to kind of go through and be able to do that, because there's always be projects around there.
Mhm.
If, however, you are looking to get into something other than project management in cybersecurity, you probably want to see what that means and entails. I mean, as a project manager, you're probably focused on managing resources. You're probably focused on managing time. You're probably focused on managing budget, right? These are the kind of like the three major areas of project management. So, you want to look at your strengths. You want to see, are you good at people management? Are you
Mhm.
good at budget management? Are you good at timeline management? And if you're if you're a strong set in there, you might want to go into leadership positions in cybersecurity, positions such as the chief information security officer, the chief security officer, and the chief risk officer, whatever the case may be. Eventually, you probably want to get to that stage if if you're really doing well in those three areas, and you can manage people and all those kind of things. So so I think for project managers, transitions are seamless. I would encourage you to go into your organization, perhaps speak to the project management office, try to understand what cybersecurity projects are ongoing, and start to participate in those. And then as you kind of get into it, then you start to kind of work your way upwards into other areas in cyber. For once the project completes, it's obviously going to get into operations. It's not going to just
Yeah.
disappear, right? So there's going to be a lot of work there.
Okay, awesome. So Abby, hope that helps out, and thanks so much for your question. So I definitely wanted to ask you, Ali, is what tips and advice do you have for the new graduates who are planning? Maybe they're close to graduating, maybe they've already decided, okay, I want to get into cybersecurity, or maybe they're still in school and they're thinking, hey, this seems like a pretty exciting field. What tips and then advice do you have for those fresh new graduates, or those about to graduate or still in school?
Yeah, absolutely. As part of my involvement at York University, I have the privilege to I think graduate about 200 students per year from the
Wow.
program, based on kind of just enrollments and how that looks, and it's been amazing since the last 5 years. One of the things that I've always come across is that networking is obviously very important. You know Almost everyone gets a job at the end of the day, but how well do you get it, and what type of position it is, that depends on really the other part of the network, and how well you focus on that. um, my view on that is, if you're graduating from school, you already have the technical knowledge. You want to start expanding your network. You want to start to, you know start attending those conferences that are happening. There's a lot of online conferences now that are happening. We've seen, I mean, specifically if we're talking about Canada, we've seen, a lot of conferences with Sector that happens every October. CyberX, there's another, organization that is doing a lot of online conferences. There's a lot of other organizations that are doing IC Square. If you join the Toronto chapter, for example, they do a lot of organizations and so forth as well. So, uh, you know, being active in the community is very important. And starting to kind of know people, and then as you kind of build that out and as you complete school, there should absolutely be no issues in individuals kind of securing a very nice position, so to speak.
Okay, great advice there. So, and obviously, I mean, so there is planning involved, right? So, yeah, I think that, and also another thing, Ali, is how important are co-ops and internships?
Um, Co-ops and internships are, for individuals that do not have any experience at
Mhm.
all, and they just have a resume that just reads university and college and high school.
Yeah,
um, it could be the difference between hiring and passing on.
right.
From a recruitment perspective, you know a recruiter would look at a resume an average for 10 seconds maximum. um, they get piles and piles of resumes and profiles and so forth, and they don't have a lot of time. I mean,
Yeah.
they have KPIs, and they have to kind of get somewhere. So they would give you an average, I would say maybe 10 seconds to look at your resume. And if you do not have any work experience, that's where your co-op and internship will count.
Mhm.
And so if a recruiter has two resumes, one is just reading college and university but no co-op, and the other is reading college, university, and co-op, obviously this one have a higher rating and be able to get
True.
get to the top of the pile as opposed to, let's say, the other one. So if you have the option of doing co-ops and internships, and if it will delay your graduation by 4 months to 8 months or even a year, I would encourage you to consider it, especially if you don't have any experience. Those 4 months, or those 8 months, whatever that co-op period is, it's insignificant to your overall career once you graduate. Um, because obviously, your career would probably expand, over 30, 35 years once you kind of, 40 years perhaps, once you kind of graduate as well. So definitely, consider that. Be very ambitious about completing your co-ops and internships if you have the option to do so.
Awesome, awesome, great advice there. So we got a great question here from Damendra. So Damendra says, question for Ali: what in your experience is a good way for highlighting and addressing the cyber risks in the business to the senior management?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so so one thing that we have to understand is, as professionals in cybersecurity, we don't run the business. We help the business run smoothly based on managing risks, right?
Mhm.
And usually at times that's the best way to communicate, right? So what happens is, technical individuals, they obviously have that technical mindset, and they would come to management and they would talk about something really, really technical, and talk about fixing something at a technical level. Management will most likely not be interested unless it addresses a business risk,
Yeah.
because because business at the end of the day needs to be profitable. They need to be able to expand, they need to be able to grow, and so forth overall. So bringing in cyber risks from a business perspective is actually the key to getting senior management attention, right? So it's not like, I need to go and purchase a new firewall and a security information management product because this one doesn't have this amazing feature that the new one has, or whatever the case is, right? You got to come to management from a business perspective, and you need to tell them that if we need to continue to sell this product, if we need to continue to grow our client base, we need to be able to detect suspicious events based on this particular profile. In order for us to be able to detect suspicious event based on this profile, we need to be able to enhance our current product and our current capability set, and we will need an investment of 50,000 or 100,000, whatever the case is, right? And that's when you capture their attention. So bringing the risks from a business perspective is key for cybersecurity professionals to be able to bring forth that to management.
Got it, got it. And yeah, I mean, especially at the senior executive, like when you're having those I mean, it's pretty much a business conversation at that point, right? Like, so, and I think this applies whatever field you're in, right? For those of you folks watching, maybe you're not in tech, maybe you're not in cybersecurity, you're speaking to senior level executives. So like, it's a business conversation through and through. Like, you have to be able to communicate the impacts on the business, right? So great. Hope that helps, Damendra. Let us know in the comments. We got Tota Rakesh in the house. Tota says, "Hello, Ali. We work together, and thanks and congratulations for the book. Awesome, awesome." We got a question here from Sumaya. So Sumaya says, "How can we start learning in this field? What is your suggestion for the first step?" Again, I think you've kind of covered this, Ali. But anything you want to add for Sumaya in terms of advice?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, obviously, find understand what the field is at a high level before you get too far into it. Do some searches, try to understand the different areas of cybersecurity where it is. um, Obviously the book will the book that I have written along with my co-authors will talk about that as well. From there, identify what you like. What is something that interests you? I mean, me and you, we cannot be the best at everything. We have to pick our niche. We have to pick what we're good at. Once you have identified that, then obviously you go deeper into that and you start to enroll in programs if you're freshly into it, that will help you build that knowledge base. Start to focus on your networking. So if you're spending you know 40 hours studying or 40 hours kind of building that knowledge, you probably want to spend at least 10% or 20% of that, about 5 to 10 hours a week networking, right? Building your network. These days networking is much more easier because everybody's remote.
Yeah.
You can even network with people around the entire world. I mean not just Canada, but you can even network with somebody in Asia if you prefer, or somebody on far west of Canada if you prefer, and so forth. And I mean, the market is totally opened up, right, for
Mhm.
professionals in IT, and professionals that can work remotely and so forth. So I think, starting off with a general understanding of what cyber is, figuring out your niche, focusing on your niche, and then starting to enroll in educational courses around your niche, and in looking at networking is key.
Awesome, fantastic. So Sumaya, I hope that helps. Great question there. Now, Ali, you mentioned that you lecture at York University, right? So can you let the viewers know like what courses you teach, and for those interested, like how can they sign up, or like are they able to sign up? Like how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So so after we graduated from York, York basically called me back in 2015, and they wanted to build out this cybersecurity program and so forth. So I've been on this journey with York since then, and what I and my colleagues have done is we have worked with the School of Continuing Studies at York University. We've built out a cybersecurity certificate program that provides basically a very general and encompassing knowledge about what cybersecurity, the field, is all about. And then
Mhm.
there are certain technical courses to it that go into a bit more deeper and so forth. So we've basically taken the certificate and split it into two. So we have the first certificate, which we call the fundamental. It has about three courses. And then we have the second certificate, which is more the advanced side, and it has some additional kind of technical views and so forth. um, and yeah, I mean, it's available on York University's website. It's very easily searchable. I mean, I'll be happy to share the links with you, Dean, as well. You can pass it on to
Yeah,
the
sure.
audience. In the sense that the courses, the cohorts are offered 3 times a year as part of the regular program. So there's the January, the winter cohort, the summer cohort in May, and then the fall cohort in September. And then there's also an intensive program, which is a more sort of shortened version for corporate sort of organizations, in which you can kind of complete. So each course is 6 weeks long, the regular one, and then there's the intensive format, in which each course is 2 weeks long, depending on how you want to do it. So the website has a lot of details, and I'm sure, I mean, once you go to it, you can contact. You can contact myself, or you can contact York University directly, and also try to find out more about that. And there's all the options around enrollment, and be able to look at that if that's of interest and if that's something that you'd like to do.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So, and I think it's amazing, like the way the opportunities and the momentum builds up, right? So I just wanted to add folks, if you get the opportunity to get involved like more, just like how Ali, right? I mean, after he graduated, he got called back, and I think this also opened up a lot of doors for you as well, Ali. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, uh, when you're when you're looking at you know teaching or providing some of these giving back to the community, the networking just it just basically it becomes exponential, right? When you're at work and you're just focusing within your teams and so forth, you're spending 40 hours with the same individual. That's amazing. You build those deep relationships, but when you kind of branch out and start to give back to the community, it's just exponential. You get to meet obviously individuals from different different backgrounds, different places, and absolutely, I mean, this has been a great opportunity.
Awesome, awesome. So so Rushita says, "Thank you, Ali. Very well explained. What starting certification should we look into to begin this journey?" So just to remind you, Ali, Rushita was the one who asked that she was in financial services and looking to transition into cybersecurity. So, anything you want to add in regards to starting certification she should look into?
Yeah, look, I mean, if you're very specifically focused on certifications, I would encourage you to start to look at some of the base ones to get going. Um, there's a for analysts, specifically for security analysts, there is a base certification called CYSA Plus, cybersecurity analyst, and so forth overall. Um, if you want to get into IT auditing and those areas, then the CISA, or the the Certified Information Security Auditor, is a certification you want to look into. Um, so again, I mean, I think depending on the niche that you select, you'll see different kind of certifications there and so forth. And I talk about that obviously in the book as well. And there's a lot of content available online that will help you kind of figure that out. One of the things I do want to mention is the CISSP certification, and this is the gold standard in cybersecurity. And I can kind of repeat this because I've seen this not just in one geography. I've seen this worldwide in different territories that I've had the opportunity to go and work with, U.S., Canada, Europe, Middle East, so on and so forth. The CISSP is probably the most well recognized, internationally accepted, and a highly respected certification that every cybersecurity professional I would encourage to strive towards,
Amazing.
and at least have it with them. But obviously, you don't limit yourself to just that. You want to build your career based on your niche, and you want to kind of go from there as well.
Okay, awesome. So, Rushita, hope that helps to answer your question. Thanks so much for that question. We got Nilesh. So, Nilesh says, "Hey, Ali and Dean, I'm working as a front end developer. How can I get into cybersecurity as well?"
Um, okay, so front end development activities. Now, with front end, uh, you're probably very good at coding and probably very good at development and so forth overall. Um, in cyber, when you start to take a look at kind of those areas, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in analytics. This includes user behavior analytics, machine analytics, machine learning models, and so on and so forth overall. And as a developer, you're most likely to kind of be attracted to that area in the field. You want to start to take a look at machine learning models in cybersecurity products. So you want to start to take a look at, I'll maybe talk a bit technical, but you want to start to take a look at products like security information event management, SIM products, security orchestration, automation and response products, SOAR products, user behavior analytics products, endpoint detection products, EDR products, managed threat detection and response products, MDR product sets. And you probably want to start to take a look at some of the perhaps the vendors or the service providers that are working in these domains, because your skills are most likely matching the development side and the build of those key core areas that you can then transition and apply into the cyberspace and start to kind of work on that. So that's kind of where I could kind of see a high level match based on some initial kind of views. And obviously, I guess getting to know you a bit more would probably expand that.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, Nilesh, hope that answers your question. You're okay for a few more minutes, Ali? I know we're reaching the 1 hour
Yes.
mark.
Yeah. No, no, no,
Perfect, perfect. All right. So we got a great comment here from Mariam Khan. So Mariam says, "I like the concept of red and blue network circles. As an HR professional, having worked in talent acquisition and management, I will certainly agree with this concept. Folks looking for progression in their careers can grow from networking with not only like minded individuals, but also by connecting with folks from different industries and functions. Getting a full perspective is always key to growth. Yeah, I mean, great question there. Sorry, great comment there, Mariam. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I also really like that blue network, red network concept. Really like that. Abby says this is great information. Thanks. This is great. Thanks for the information. No worries, Abby. Domendra says thanks for the tips that you shared. Somaya says thanks as well. So we got a question from Kumar. So shout out to Kumar. So Kumar says, would the program at York prepare graduates for the CISSP certification?
So the program at York University, specifically, it's actually built around the CSSP. So the whole idea is that the CSSP contains what is called the Common Body of Knowledge for Cybersecurity, the CBK rather, and the CBK is divided into 8 domains, which basically is risk management, asset security, architecture engineering, network security, security operations, security in the system development lifecycle, business continuity and disaster recovery, and then physical security. Um, the program specifically at York University is actually designed around the CSSP certificate. So the whole idea is students that are entering into the program, by the time they exit the program, they should have a very good idea and knowledge around what the common body of knowledge in CSSP is, the 8 domains that I just talked about. And they should be able to then go ahead and attempt the certification and so forth overall. So yes, the one at York is designed around the CSSP, and obviously there's others as well. I would encourage you to obviously take a look at all of your options. I would be biased towards York, obviously, but do take a look at all your options and do the best for yourself.
Awesome. Hope that helps, Kumar. Let us know in the comments. Rushita says, yes, Ali did clear out so many doubts. Thank you very much. I was always interested in CISSP, but there are some requirements to do it. How do we come around with prerequisites of CISSP since I'm not from IT background?
Okay. It's interesting because uh, in order to write the CSSP, you do not need the experience, and that's something that many people, I guess, they either miss that, or they don't understand that clearly. But you can go write the CSSP tomorrow. Nobody's going to stop you. All you need to do is you need to pay the fees for the exam, and you need to sit in on the exam, and you need to do the exam. Now what happens is, after you pass the certificate, the certificate, you need to basically apply for certification. In order for you to apply for certification, there needs to be 3 conditions at a high level. The first condition is obviously you need to pass the CSSP, which you can pass without having any without providing any evidence of experience. The second is you need to provide 5 years of experience of working in the field, and I'm gonna qualify what that means. The third thing you need is you need another CISSP to endorse you. So, for example, somebody like me to come and endorse your application that you do in fact fulfill the requirements.
Yeah.
Now, coming back to the second piece, which is the experience. Your experience has to match those 8 domains that I've talked about. So in the last question, I was talking about those 8 domains and the common body of knowledge. If you have worked at any point in your life around any of those 8 domains, and there's a lot of things in there. I mean, if you're coming from a 5-year background in other areas, most likely you can match your experience to one of those 8 domains. For example, if physical security is a part of cybersecurity. If you worked as a security guard, taking the basic example, if you worked as a security guard, that experience applies to physical security. And some people miss that, right? And so forth. I mean, if you worked in financial services industry, you're probably doing risk analysis. Risk analysis applies to cybersecurity. So all you got to do is you got to match your domains into that as part of the application. You got to pass the exam, and you need another CSSP to basically endorse your application and confirm that you are in fact meeting the requirements, and then basically you get certified. So that's how you need to kind of build your mindset around attempting the CSSP and working towards it. If you plan to write it without the full 5 years of experience, and by the way, if you have a bachelor's degree, you can almost subtract 1 year, so it becomes 4 years, right? And so on and
Right.
so forth. So there's many ways around this.
Awesome, awesome. So Rushita, I hope that helps. Rushita says, great session. Thank you, Dean and Ali. And Kumar says, excellent, awesome. So Ali, I know we're at the hour mark now, so I definitely wanted you to talk about your book. Let's talk about your book. So can you tell the viewers like what does this book cover, and like who's this book for, and what will the reader get out of this amazing book?
Great. So this book is inspired by students. Um, Basically, when I started the program at York University with my colleagues, and we went through a couple of cohorts. So in September 2016, we started the first cohort. We had students, then we had the second and third. Um, there was a common theme that I observed, and the common theme was there was a lot of people that there was a lot of information around the in the internet out there, and it was just overwhelming for individuals that are new to the field to kind of just understand what it's all about. What is cybersecurity all about? What are the different fields? Where's the market headed? What's the best thing to kind of grow your career, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of information. It was overwhelming. And what struck to me at that point in time is, students are asking the same question over and over again, and it's
Yeah,
happening in every cohort. And why not put this in a consolidated format and present it to the world in a way where it's straightforward, it's easy to understand, it will allow somebody to have a general understanding, but at the same time also be able to take that and then expand upon it as they kind of grow out into their niche, and they go and then keep it as a reference for the rest of for the rest of their careers and so forth. And that's when I kind of embarked that journey with one of my colleagues at York, my co-instructors, Gaurav, and then also Arlene Worsley, who are actually co-authors of this as well, is to go out and start to build this out and to start to bring this to the world in a very simple and concise manner. And that's what basically we have done as part of this, is that in this book, I talk about building out a career in cybersecurity, what the field is all about, how to transition into the field if you're coming from different backgrounds. Just some questions that we're asking here. What are the different areas in cybersecurity? How is the field changing as we adopt digitalization? So there's a huge section in there that talks about the emerging technologies and how that affects cybersecurity,
yeah.
such as cloud, autonomous vehicles, machine learning, 3D printing, and so on and so forth. And then there's a major kind of area that I talk about in terms of certifications and professional certs, and what that entails, what the positions are. And then obviously there's areas in the book that talk about what are the different positions in cybersecurity. Technical positions are perhaps 40% of cybersecurity. There's still that 60% around management, analytics, and so on and so forth overall. So it's basically a book that's been inspired by students, and is there to open the doors for people that are seeking their way into the field, and to have it as a reference book, as a book for reference for themselves, for colleges, universities, and so forth overall.
Awesome, fantastic, Ali. Thanks so much, and also very kind of you to be willing to give away two free copies to some of the members in the audience. So, shall we do the contest now? Like, I know you've probably been seeing a couple of great questions and great comments. So, yeah, I guess let's do it right now. Like, so if you can pick maybe your top two, Ali, and then announce the winners, who you think should get the book, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, no, perfect. And I mean, Dean, before I even do that, I mean, obviously, I'm just looking at the comments box and just scrolling through them as well, and so forth. I'm really excited to see the collaboration and the participation from different platforms. I think I see people from LinkedIn,
Absolutely.
from Facebook, from YouTube, everybody here. There's some great questions out there, and I certainly I'm glad that you found this helpful and so forth overall. If I was to kind of take a look at some of the ones that were there at this point, I would like to nominate, Dean, to yourself, Somaya. Um,
Sumaya, okay, awesome. Sumaya, congratulations, my friend.
I believe, yeah, I'd be some really great questions, and thank you for asking those. And in terms of uh, let me just go through there. Yeah, so I think I would like to nominate Rushita for the second.
Awesome, awesome. So Sumaya and Rushita, congratulations. You are the winners of the two free copies of Ali's book. So congratulations. So Ali, how can they coordinate with you? Can they message you on LinkedIn, or how can you set that up with them?
Sure. I think whatever is the most convenient path. I mean, definitely, I am. You can contact me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to kind of collect your details there to be able to share a copy of the book. If you are connected with Dean, I think they can come through you as well. Whatever is the best way. There's no issues at all, and yeah, totally comfortable.
Awesome,
Um,
fantastic.
and I mean, and I mean the
Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think everybody else has been well participating as well, and I'm really glad to see the collaboration here as well and so forth. And I mean, the book is available on Amazon. It's widely available, so folks, if you do have an interest, I'm sure that we'll be able to share the link to it. I think Dean on Amazon, we can do that, and people can have that.
Absolutely. So Sumaye and Rushida, congratulations to both of you. You asked some great questions, great participation. So if you can't find Ali on LinkedIn, just feel free to send me a message, and I'll connect you with Ali, and both of you can coordinate and get that free copy of the book. Amazing book. And so yeah, if you both can't find Ali, just feel free to send me a direct message. I'll connect you with Ali directly. All right. So, and we had some great participation today. I just wanted to give a couple of more shout outs before we end the session. From the comments, we got let's see here. We got Dharmendra says really enjoyed the session. Thank you both. No worries. Mohammed said excellent session. Mariam Khan said great session. Dean, loved your way of hosting to make the session engaging while reading comments from the live audience. Looking forward to attending more future sessions. Thank you for sharing all the valuable insights. The Cyber Ali, all the best to all cybersecurity aspiring professionals. Great to have you here, Mariam. Appreciate the feedback. Glad you enjoyed. And Rushita says, thank you both. I hope my questions would have cleared out doubts of other participants. Also, I would love to read your book and get into cybersecurity. Awesome. And Deepti says, great session. Appreciate your time and consideration. And yeah, looks like Somaye is very, very happy and excited. Congratulations again, Somaye. And Rushita as well is very, very excited. So thanks so much. Now, Ali, for those who want to, connect with you or follow you on social media, how can they best do that? And what can they expect in terms of content and stuff that you post on social media?
Yeah. So I mean, as part of my educational path and career, I take great pride and ambition in kind of growing the field and making sure that we continue to bring the right professionals into the field, and we continue to grow the field and so forth. So my views and my focus is all around helping share kind of some subject matter expertise with my colleagues. We're all part of that big red network, right? So
Yeah.
sharing subject matter expertise, helping people that have now reached a particular stage to then start to onboard new professionals, so forth. So I talk a lot about kind of mentorship, networking. My particular area of expertise, like security operations centers, I certainly talk a lot about that and so forth overall. So I would certainly, you'll see some of those themes as you kind of start to follow myself and start to take a look at some of those things. In terms of visibility, I would definitely say LinkedIn obviously is the prime kind of social media network that is the professional kind of view in terms of followership and so forth. And then obviously I am on some other networks as well, including Twitter, Instagram, and so forth overall as well.
Awesome, fantastic. And I guess folks can search for you by searching your name here, right? Cyber Ali, the Cyber Ali.
Yep.
So folks, if you want to look up Ali on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, also Facebook, just search for his name as it is here, right? The Cyber Ali, and you should be able to find him. All right. But if you have any difficulties finding him, just send me a message. I'm happy to share the links with you as well. So folks, I'm going to wrap up the session. Ali, you shared so much great information. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, my friend. You spent more than an hour with us, and you were kind enough to give away your free copy of your book as well to two of the attendees. So thanks so much. It's great to see you doing well, and so happy that you're doing so well since we've last spoken. And definitely look forward to doing more sessions like this in the future, and also staying in touch. So thanks again, Ali, for your time and being a guest on the show.
Thank you, Dean, so much. I mean, I really enjoyed being here and speaking with yourself and the participants, and really great to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So, folks, make sure you hit us up with a like and a share. And thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Congrats again to Sumaye and Rushita. And thanks everyone else who tuned in and participated. All right. Everyone have a fantastic day, and see you around next time. All right. Take care, everyone.